Yeah, so cut the brakes, put the gas, now I'm coming for revenge. I've been feeling like an outlaw cause I don't make amends. Every time I wanna win, I see them plotting on my end. All my enemies are seeing that I'm on how they descend. Talking big game, yeah, but that ain't real, it's just pretend. Watch a legend burn, coming for the fake ones. I did it all myself, now I don't need no day ones. Ain't nobody's on my level, watch me breaking. Coming for the scene, I see the crown and I'ma take it. And I feel my body rise.
Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. My name is Nur Hidayah Sazira binti Salim from Engineering Management. I'm one of the presenters who will present the introduction and conclusion of the topic SDG indicator. Next is what is SDG 14. I will introduce you to this goal, Sustainable Development Goal 14. Goal 14 or SDG 14 is about life below water and is one of the 17 hot Sustainable Development Goals established by the United Nations. In 2030, the official wording is to conserve and sustainable use the hot oceans, seas, and marine resources for sustainable development. The goal has 10 targets to be achieved by 2030 and progress towards each target is being measured with one indicator. So why is SDG 14 is important? This part explains to us why SDG 14 is important. SDG 14 targets seek to prevent and reduce marine pollution, further the sustainable management and protection of marine and coastal ecosystem, address the impact of ocean acidification, regulate harvesting and overfishing, illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing and destructive fishing practice. Besides then, conserve coastal and marine areas, increase the economic benefit to small island developing states and least developed countries from the sustainable use of marine resources, and strengthen the means of implementation including increasing scientific knowledge, the transfer of marine technology and implementation of international law as reflected in the 1982 United Nations Convention of the Law of the Sea.
Hi, my name is Nura Atira. So I will share about SDG goal. As you can see, this is a picture of the background of SDG 14. So next is review SDG 14. SDG 14 is life below water. Is one of 17 sustainable development goals set by the United Nations in 2015. 30% of the world's complete marine habitat has been destroyed, and 30% of the world's fish stock are overexploited. Marine pollution has reached a staggering level. 50 tons of plastic are released into the ocean every minute. 50% of the coral reef has been destroyed irreversibly, and another 24% are at immediate risk of collapse. About 1 million seabirds, 1,000 marine mammals, and an unknown number of fish are injured and die each year due to human-caused marine pollution. So next is the deterioration of coastal water has become global due to pollution and coastal eutrophication, overflow of nutrients in the air. Similar contributing factors to climate change can affect the ocean and negatively impact marine biodiversity. And then third, the ocean reduces the effect of climate change and offset about 23% of annual emission of every pound of carbon. The most important of which is carbon dioxide. Because of the offset carbon, seawater become more acid and its pH level drops significantly. Okay, next is SDG indicator. SDG indicator have three. First is minimize and address the effect of ocean acid certification include truth in chance, scientific collaboration, and all levels. The average marine acid was measured at an every representative sampling station suit. Status marine water quality in coast area, estuaries, and island based on the Malaysian's Marine Water Quality Index. This number 2 is fish caught by trawling. Okay, this target has one indicator. So trawling is a fishing method in which fishermen drag nets along the seafloor to catch a species of fish in mass. This technique does incredible damage to marine habitat, particularly coral reef. It also confronts problems related to overfishing by indiscriminately trapping whatever species happen to be in the net. This bycatch unwanted fish that are inadvertently nets are often thrown back dead or dying into the ocean. And then the number 3 is conserve coastal and marine areas. This target has one indicator only, is the coverage of protected areas in relation to sea area. The terms marine protected areas include marine reserve, fully protected marine areas, not-tag zone, marine shelter, marine park, locally operated marine areas, and others. Each area has certain level of protection and a specific range of activity allowed. So that's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and good morning. My name is Nifana Binti from Engineering Management. Now I will talk about environmental issue, a continuous topic from SDG indicators. Based on the SDG indicator that Atira mentioned, there are 3 environmental issues that make our country SDG score decline. The issue are poor quality of marine water, fish trawling or dragging, and lastly, marine biodiversity in danger. The first issue is poor quality of marine water. Malaysia is one of the countries whose economy is heavily dependent on the sea. In the 20th century, Malaysia's water pollution has increased as a result of the country's growing population and rapid development. The SDG score is declining, falling from 62.58 in 2015 to 57.68 in 2020. Chemical and oxygen demanding waste are the primary pollutant in this environmental issue. Pollution is caused by human waste from domestic, industrial, and agricultural activity, as well as oil leaks, shipping operation, and others. There are numerous sources of pollution, but I will focus on the effect of this issue. You can see from the pictures below are the proof of the pollution from these activities. We are all aware that marine pollution has a significant negative impact on both the ecosystem and humans. The waste from human land activities will run off into the ocean through rivers, affecting the ocean oxygen level. If the ocean oxygen level is low, there will be less oxygen available to support life. The animal will then forced to relocate or, in the worst case scenario, become extinct. Following that, oil leaks from the offshore will wash up on the shore and polluting the turtle nesting habitat. Trash thrown into the ocean will be eaten by aquatic life or land animals such as seagulls, causing digestive problem and eventually lead to death. It also restricts the aquatic life's ability to reproduce and grow. There are numerous chemicals found in the ocean which will contaminate water supply and food chain. Next, if humans are exposed to toxic chemical for a long period of time, it will result in health problems such as increasing children risk, for autism, ADHD, as well as low IQ, and also a high risk of vibrio infection such as cholera. The following issue is fish trawling or dredging. Most Malaysian population rely heavily on the fish industry for animal proteins. However, by trawling or dredging, it is constantly harming the marine ecosystem. As you can see in the first picture, trawling is a type of fishing that involves dragging nets along the seafloor and use heavy equipment. Meanwhile, dredging is the process of removing gathered sediment from the bottom of a river, lake, or ocean, as you can see in the third picture. The type of pollution involved are chemical, trash, and sediment. The causes of this environmental issue include trawling in prohibited area, overfishing, shipping activities, irresponsible management, and so on. The fishing operation will cause environmental damage to the marine environment. One of the examples are in the second picture, where there are no coral reef or aquatic life after the trawling is done. It has been done many times, and indiscriminate fishery has drained many species of fish in every part of the world. Since trawling engulfs millions of tons of sea life, including sharks and marine mammals. Following that, the dumping of waste from the vessel introduced a high level of nutrient into the ecosystem, potentially leading to an oxygen reduction problem. As we all know, coral reefs take years to develop, and they are home to more than 25% of marine life. However, due to the pollution, coral reefs have been declined even further and will go extinct. Lastly, when the operation of dredging is ongoing, it will cause injury to the marine mammals. In research of MIMA, Marine Institute of Malaysia, our country's coastline and seas are rich in marine biodiversity, ecosystem, habitats, and other natural resources. Malaysia also included in the Coral Triangle, which are home to 76% of world coral species, 6 of 7 marine turtle species, and at least 2,300 reef fish species. Malaysia SDG score for marine biodiversity is stagnating at 13.71 for 20 years. Chemical, organic chemical, and trash pollutant are the types of pollution involved in this issue. The root of this environmental issue are climate change due to pollution, poor governance, unsustainable tourism, and overfishing. According to scientific studies, coral reefs in Coral Triangle will disappear by 2100 if appropriate climate change action is not taken. The ability of coastal environment to feed people will be reduced by 80% and affecting the livelihood of approximately 100 million people. This implies that if those in position of power do not protect the coral reef. Next, it also has an impact on the quality of marine water, because pollution from land degrades the quality of marine water. The coral reef grow in shallow water near the shore and require clean water to survive. However, due to pollutants emitted by human activities that support algae growth, the coral reef will be endangered and lead to extinction, as you can see in both of the pictures. Finally, we know due to overfishing, fish species are declining every year, including herbivorous coral reef fish. Coral reef fish help keep the ecosystem in balance by eating the algae. So if this is not prevented, the marine ecosystem will be disrupted. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Bobby Michael from Bachelor Engineer Management. So in the initiative to tackle the problems that we have identified that has been described by my friend Farhana, I have come up with several initiatives that can be used and practiced by every community in the country to take care of our oceans. So without wasting time, let's go to the first initiative that I have identified. First, in industrial control, that assistance from the government to safeguard the marine area, we can create very strict rules in order to maintain the sustainability of our oceans. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has enacted several laws to help protect oceans and beach, reduce pollution from ships, reduce marine debris, and ban marine dumping. Renewable energy sources such as wind or solar energy to limit offshore drilling as implemented by National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administrations (NOAA) to have a positive impact on oceans around the world. The law can also limit agricultural pesticides and encourage organic farming. The Endangered Species Act requires federal agencies to assess the effect of pesticides on endangered marine species. This is to prevent pollutions. In addition, proper sewage treatment and explorations of environmentally friendly wastewater treatment options, such as recycling sewage sludge to carbon phosphorus fertilizers. EPA offer educational and financial assistance to recycle biopollutant and control sewage to minimize metal concentrations in water. Law to reduce manufacturing industrial waste so that it does not spill into the oceans should be available and implemented in every industry. The Waste and Solid Amendment Act, passed in 1984, set standards for landfill and strict requirement on where landfill can be located. Next, reduce carbon emissions that lead to oceans acidification that endanger some type of marine life by using public transportations, walking or cycling, and using high efficiency equipment such as electric transportation. This contributes to people and environment good health. Our state regulations can also encourage the community by carrying reusable shopping bags and reusable containers for food storing instead of plastic bags to reduce plastic productions. Therefore, we can save the environment and plastic piles will not be taken to the oceans. The second initiative is clean up the oil spill in the oceans by using skimmer boat. This technology is used to remove contaminants from the water surface. Skimmer ships serve to expand the oxygen space to enter the oceans for the good of ocean's life. A skimmer is a machine specially designed to suck up oil and debris that floating on water just like a vacuum cleaner. It is used to physically separate oil and waste from water to be collected and processed for reuse or for environmentally friendly disposal. It is economically viable. Therefore, our country should have this technology. Other initiatives are using elastomizer. After an oil spill occurs, use a compound such as elastol, which is basically polyisobutylene (PIB), in the form of a white powder that works to contain the oil spill by hardening or solidifying the oil on the surface of the water. This prevents the oil from spreading, and this is very fast process of solidifying the oil in 15 to 40 minutes. The third initiative is the Ministry of Agriculture and Agro-based Industry immediately ban the activities of trawlers that destroy our oceans. The Fisheries Act 1985 shall act in immediately prohibit fishing methods that use trawls to save fish, breeding areas, and maintain the shape of coral reefs. Stop the wrong promotions of aquaculture because it is inefficient. Ban the use of fish manure as food for aquaculture projects. Implement conservation programs to protect and restore coral reefs and fish breeding areas. Prohibit fishing activities during the matching period in the breeding area. conserve and breed all endangered marine species, and impose heavy punishments on fishermen that found guilty. Government must also act into sand mining activities was stopped immediately until the government conduct an environmental impact assessment study under the Environmental Quality Act 1974. The government should ban the export of sand to other countries as a way to protect and preserve the sea and coast. Investigate foreign dredgers contract in the country in accordance with the Merchant Shipping Ordinance 1952 and the Immigration Act 1959 or 1963 for working illegally in Malaysia. And the final initiative is that the local community can undertake biodiversity restorations and conservation efforts by running cleaning activities. Garbage caused by storm and irresponsible human activities can be referred to anthropogenic, like building materials or natural materials such as tree trunk and organic matter. This material damage on coral reefs. Activities including clearing beach and removing floating objects are efforts to preserve biodiversity and facilitate breeding. Next is rearrange and rotate the coral. Affected coral organisms need to be repositioned and reassembled for recovery. This activity can keep coral reef alive and ensure a place for marine species to breed, and our beaches are not easily eroded by waves. Remove loose debris and sediment to minimize future coral damage. Routine maintenance is required for nurseries and coral sites damaged by storm and human activities to maintain macroalgal growth. This initiative can be done manually by experienced diver. So the last but not least is the establishment of research and development centers need to be developed, such as Taman Teknologi Malaysia (TPM), which is currently active conducting research on the potential that can be used from the country natural resource that carry out activities such as collecting, preserving and conducting pharmacological studies of samples, processing and production of seed on marine and terrestrial life. It is also important to control the extinction of endangered species by monitoring and detecting illegal objects and activities that threaten the seas and beach by installing sensors on the body part of endangered animal species. And that's all for initiative, and I hope government can take this initiative to take actions protecting our oceans.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ulfa Nur Hakiki binti Muhammad Hussain from Bachelor of Engineering Management. Here I want to present about my part is Environmental Management System. An environmental management system is a set of process and practice that enable an organization to reduce its environmental impact and improve its operational efficiency. What is the relationship of the PDCA cycle with ISO 14001-2015? Before that, we need to understand the meaning of the PDCA cycle is plan, do, check, and act. PDCA is the operating principle of all ISO management system standards, including ISO 14001. By following this cycle, we can be able to effectively manage and continuously improve the effectiveness of your organization. Based on all the initiative, there are several clauses from ISO 14001-2015 that can be linked to the initiative based on the action, check, do, plan to be used to ensure the successful implementation of the initiative. In our discussion, there are 4 clauses that we choose: Clause 6 planning, Clause 7 support, Clause 8 operation, Clause 6 improvement. The first is clause 6 planning. Now, if we can see too much plastic that causing the death of marine habitats, resulting in smelly and dirty seawater due to dirty water waste from homes and oil spillways from irresponsible ships. Therefore, the Department of Environment needs to formulate a marine cleanup plan to achieve the objective of SDG 14 and encourage the community to ensure the marine health is always guaranteed safely. The goal of Clause 6 is to ensure that the organization has a plan in place to determine that the EMS can achieve the desired result. Second is Clause 7 support. So the Malaysian government needs to create a schema boat, which is a machine especially designed to suck up oil or garbage that floats on the water just like a vacuum cleaner in a home. It is used to physically separate oil and waste from water to be collected and processed for reuse or for environmentally friendly disposal. Although this schema board is only available in the offshore world of Europe, but the Malaysian government needs to create it to facilitate the cleaning of the sea. The goal of Clause 7 is about the implementation of plans and process that enable organizations to meet their environmental management system. In short, this is a very powerful requirement that covers all the resource requirements of the environmental management system. The third is Clause 8 operation. The operation is to provide guidance on the needs of operational planning and control related to management system involving an organization and the Department of Environment. Therefore, every ship that sail must register with the Marine Department to know the law when sailing in terms of maintaining the well-being of the sea. Each shipping organization must plan, implement, and control its operational process by setting operational criteria and controlling the process according to criteria in accordance with environmental laws and the Marine Department. So the whole clause of operation is all about dealing with the implementation of plans and process that enable the organization to achieve its environmental objective. The last is Clause 10 improvement. Overfishing, unreported and uncontrolled fishing as well as illegal fishing practice need to be stopped. The Department of the Environment need to work with the Department of Fisheries to save and maintain the biodiversity of marine life in effective and orderly harvesting regulation. Therefore, the Department of Environment should improve the quality of their management in helping identify the root cause and environmental problems, provide assessment documentation, take appropriate action to improve efficiency and reduce costs associated with compliance and environmental liability due to non-compliance will focus on environmental issues. The goal of Clause 10 is about management improvement due to the new ways of handling preventive action and improvements in the quality of management.
So we have come to the end of this chapter. The importance of transport by sea as a trade link between countries can no longer be denied. However, these shipping activities have contributed to pollution such as oil spill, plastic waste, and even carbon emission. Pollution has a significant impact because it not only threatens marine life and the marine environment, but also affects human life. SDG 14 outlines guidelines on the continual conservation and preservation of the sea aimed at sustainable development. In general, the shipping industry is one of the key branches in driving the country's economic growth. This is in line with the role and contribution of the shipping industry to the well-being of society through the employment opportunities offered. The inclusive implementation of Industrial Revolution 4.10 must be given due attention on par with the development of the shipping industry. These innovative solutions in the shipping sector play an important role in the achievement of SDG 14, which is to promote a comprehensive and sustainable industry and stimulate innovation, especially in ship design and construction and operation. This also reflects the ability of our country to achieve the goal of being one of the best maritime countries in the world. The application of the blue economy concept is among the government efforts to develop an economy based on the maritime industry in the fisheries and aquaculture sector, port and shipping, oil and mineral exploration, as well as the development of renewable energy sources. The implementation of the blue economy concept requires good planning and management so that the SDG 14 agenda can be achieved before 2030. Therefore, in this report, every industrial organization listed in the country must comply with obtain ISO 14001 certification to prove that the organization's product, operation, and impact are not harmful to the environment, especially the sea. With the implementation of ISO 14001, our country can anticipate change. The environment becomes better, especially in reducing the impact of the waste generated that has been contributing to the formation of greenhouse gas that are accelerating global events climate change. Finally, ISO 14001 can provide motivation and benefits to developing organization and country. That's all from me and my friend. Thank you.